What's your name?
My name is Trey.
And where are you originally from?
Originally, I'm born in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was born and raised in Wilmington, North Carolina from a youth till in my early 20s. I was always a troublemaker.
Did you grow up with both parents?
No, I was a single child parent. My mom raised me, never knew my dad. My dad found out my mom was pregnant and he left, so I never seen him. Don't know what he looks like. Don't know if he's living or dead. My mom was an alcoholic. Had a lot of physical abuse. My childhood was really, really rough, like really, really rough. I used to get spankings all the time. People back then thought it was discipline. I called it child abuse. I was beat with anything that my mom could grab. She started drinking and she would tell me, you know, I would let 3 add up and then I would get a beating. But it was not a beating, it was more of a punishing. I was beaten with sticks and belts, clothes hangers and extension cords. Things were thrown at me, whatever I could find. There was really not a lot of love. There was a bunch of alcoholism, a lot of violence in my home, a lot of negativity. There was never anything positive, I guess. Throughout my life, there was always trouble. I was always in jail, always in prison. As far as I can remember, I was always a troublemaker. I didn't care about anybody, anything. It wasn't beneficial to me, and I wouldn't care about it. I don't know. What would you like to ask me questions?
Yeah. When did you come to Austin?
Came to Austin in 2001.
What brought you to Austin?
I came to Texas in 2001. I got out of prison.
Oh, how'd you get into prison?
I went to prison for felony speeding to elude arrest. What that means is I had a stolen vehicle and I was running from the law. I had a high-speed chase for about 5 miles. They snatched me out. They brutally beat me. I went to prison for 3 years and I got out. When I got out, my mom, before she passed, she was 46 when she passed in 2003, but before she died, her and my brother was like, you know, you just got out of prison, you're back out here doing the same things, you're going to end up dead or back in prison. So they came up with enough money to send me to Texas. I tried to make every excuse not to come. Tell them I didn't have any family here, nowhere to stay. Tried to make every excuse not to come, to continue to do what I was doing. My mom had a brother down here named James Lee Brewington. Stayed in Killeen. He was an alcoholic and a diabetic, but he was a military brat. Been in the military for about 30 years. Caused a lot of stress, turmoil in his brain, which caused him to drink a lot. He drinking, the alcohol, the insulin, it doesn't mix. He eventually drank too much, the insulin didn't work, he passed away. I came to Austin. I hitchhiked from Killeen to Austin. I got dropped off at the Salvation Army on the corner. In 2001, I've been here homeless ever since.
What was it like when you first became homeless in Austin?
When I first became homeless in Austin, I'm not gonna even lie, it was kind of fun. Because I was in a new state, new city, I don't know anybody. Run around and pretty much do what I want. I was in my youth. Wasn't thinking about the future, wasn't thinking about a legacy, wasn't thinking about a foundation. Only thing I was young. I was thinking about chasing girls and drugs. So I stayed in Austin from 2001 until now. Well, from 2001 to 2016, I was constantly back and forth in jail and in prison. I've been to state jail 5 times. I've been to prison 5 times. I've been to prison 3 times in North Carolina, twice in Texas. I've been to state jail 5 times. My thing is like when I hurt, when I'm in pain, or if I can't find a solution to a problem, I do drugs. I commit crimes. And those crimes got me in jail.
What's your drug of choice?
Right now, my drug of choice is marijuana, but back then it was cocaine. cocaine and PCP, and it made me do a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of crazy stuff. A lot of drug selling, a lot of robbing, stealing, a lot of lying, a lot of anything that a drug addict will do to acquire a drug. I've broken into cars. I've had sex with women in front of people to get paid. I've showed men my penis for money because of my drug addiction. People may not admit it, but there are a lot of people that are on drugs that do a lot more extreme things than I've done. I've never had sexual activities with a man. A man has never had sexual activities with me. But I have done crazy things like have sex with women, show homosexual with my penis for hundreds of dollars. They wanted to know if I had a big penis. I show it to them. I get paid. I get drugs. I go run in the stores. I run out with stuff. I get drugs. I steal a car. I get drugs. Whatever the streets will allow me to do at that time, whatever activity is available at that time. I didn't care. It didn't matter. Just did it. Get high. Didn't care. Now, it's different. It's just different. I don't want that.
Where are you sleeping these days? Where you sleep?
Well, right now, I'm privileged enough. There's a church called St. David's. We call it Sleeping Jesus. It's across the street from the Omni Hotel. It's the only church in Austin, Texas that will allow sanctuary. They have zero tolerance here. So for the homeless people out here like myself that are sitting out here now, we don't sleep here. We just sit here and commute. We go back and forth, we socialize, we fellowship for the day. At the night, we separate, we go our separate ways. We go like alleys, doorways, wherever we can find sleep. But in Austin right now, they have it to where homeless people cannot be downtown. There's a zero tolerance. Zero tolerance means there are no sitting, lying, or standing in the downtown area, the immediate downtown area. There's tourists, there's money down here, and Austinites, the higher part of the society of Austin, they don't want us here. They leave us to be picked off, I guess you would say. Like they tell us, we can't even stay in the homeless shelter. Like at nighttime, we look for sanctuary and safety. We want to stay around the homeless shelter, but they tell us to get your things, your personal property, and leave. Go on the other side of the street, the other side of the highway. Don't be around here. If you do, you get a ticket, you go to jail. But I'm homeless, so where do I stay? God said that He created this world for my home. I'm not homeless. I have a home. I don't have a house. I have a home. This whole world, this entire world is my home. God made it that way. I don't have a house. I don't have a stable residence, an address. But it doesn't mean that I'm not a person. Right now in Austin, if you're homeless, you're not considered a person. You're considered a thing, an asset, somewhat of a piece of cotton in your pocket that you would just flick off without even looking at it. Something that you would just brush off the bottom of your shoe type. Everybody out here, they're not out here because of drug addictions. Some of us out here because of situations and circumstances. I have a wife that I love. She loves me. I have a 4-year-old daughter. Her name is Sanaya Love Marie Shannon. She just turned 4, August the 8th. My wife had a stroke beside me. She woke up, she was paralyzed on the right side of her body. Her face was slacking, her arm and her leg couldn't move. I was there with unconditional love throughout the hospitalization, through her rehabilitation. I was there. But because of women are emotional. We know that women are 10 times more emotional than men. So now she thinks that I don't love her, that her body looks different. It does, but I don't care. I love her as a person. She thinks that her body feels different on the inside. She has all of these complexes, all of these different things that's caught up with the hurt. So that's why I'm out here right now. For the last 4 years, I was not homeless. I was staying in a home with my wife and my kid. Before that, I was homeless. 2016, 2020 was the longest I had ever had a residence. I thought that I would be there for the rest of my life until my wife had a stroke, and now I'm back out here. So out of my whole entire 20 years in Austin, only 4 of them has been safe. I don't know.
So, what's the craziest thing you've seen out here on the streets?
The craziest thing that I've seen, a few weeks ago, maybe almost a month ago, there was a little Caucasian woman named Amy. She was laying across the street from where I am now by a water fountain. There were some refugees that came to Austin for the storm. They were leaving Houston, Galveston, Dallas. They were coming here to Austin for storm retreat. One of them activated one of the scooters that they ride, put it down for a second. Another guy grabbed it. He was like, "Hey man, bring my scooter back." And he was like, "Man, I'm not bringing you shit. Fuck you, I'm not giving you nothing." So he pulled up with his car, he pulled a gun, and shot 4 times. In the midst of him shooting 4 times, he killed a homeless lady. She died right there by that water fountain where the bullet is still in the water fountain they won't take out. That just exposed a little bit about Austin and tell you about how much they care about people. There's a bullet sitting in the water fountain right now that I've showed the police. They know that it's there and they won't extract it. That bullet is evidence to catch a murderer. They don't care that a homeless woman got killed. They won't even take the bullet out. So that says a lot about how they feel about people like myself. They don't care about people like myself. Like I said, we're like land roaches.
What would you need to be well off and successful? What would help you?
In order for me to be successful, in order for me to get to a better place from where I'm at now, all we need is love. Love. Love endures all. Love conquers all. If someone would love me as much as I love myself and give me the opportunity to prove myself, to show them that I have great work ethics and that I'm a great person inside. If they would not be judgmental and look at the dirt and filth on the outside, take our time to learn the character that I have and the treasures that I hold within, and give me an opportunity and a place to stay, then I can become stable. All I need is the opportunity to work, an opportunity to get myself together, somebody to push me and motivate me, somebody to help me help myself, somebody to not turn their back and have compassion. If that lady had compassion, if somebody had it in their heart to help, then she would not be dead. You know, if somebody takes out time to listen to someone to see what they need on an individual basis, then it's different. But like, you got people like, oh, you can come down and panhandle and be like, "Hey man, I'm hungry, could you help me eat?" You know, or could I ask you a question? Could I get some help? They look at you like you're filthy, like you're a dog, like you're trash. You don't get help. If somebody would take out the time and look at me as a person and give me a chance, that I could be successful. But without giving an opportunity, I can never be successful. Without people looking at me like I'm this and nothing else, then I'll never get a chance to be successful. But if somebody gave me a chance, all I need is the opportunity, one opportunity.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say? Shouts out to anybody?
I want to say this. We're doing this right now because there's something in my body called staphysia. Staphysia comes when you have I'll start from the beginning. I have in my body what you call staphysia. Staphysia is an infection that's within your body. What happens is you get a boil or a cyst. You go to the hospital, they lance it, they drain it, they pack it. It's okay. They tell you if it drains by itself to not mess with it, to put hot water on a hot compress to keep it clean, keep it sterile. Well, in the process, they didn't tell me that it could drain inside of my body. So now I have an infection in my bone, in my blood, and in my body, in my groin, and in my lymph nodes. In the next 2 months, I won't be alive. So before the camera goes off, I want people to understand this. Throughout my life, I was always a fuck up. I was always negative. I was always the kind of person that would promote negativity. God has laid it on my heart to tell you and all of the world that love is an action. It's not a word. Don't love anything around you that can be reborn or rebuilt. Anything that you can manufacture by hand or that can be man-made. Do not love it or cherish it. Appreciate it, use it, utilize. Understand that you have an original human being beside you, around you. You have original family members, original kids. Whatever you have, you love them. Don't tell them you love them, you show them. Understand that in your lifetime, your actions are you. You are measured by your actions and not your words. A person is measured by their actions. Understand that in your last days, you will know. God will comfort you. He will come to you. He will guide you. He will hold your hand. There are things in this world that you need to accomplish before you die. God has set something in motion in your life from the time you were born until now. It's called destiny. Your life is predestined. It's already been written. So everything that you endure in your life, you are supposed to. It builds your character. Don't be ashamed. Don't regret. Continue to move forward. God loves all, endures all. He will create you in your time of need. He will put people in your life when you need them. The guy that's behind the camera right now is a person that I met just on 6th Street walking and talking. We came to the realization that, life is more than we think. It's more out here than we actually know. There's things that's undercover. There are things that's in Austin that people didn't know. There are things that are taking place in people's life that people don't know. But take out the time to tell someone you love them. But don't just tell them, you show them. I'm taking out my last days. I'll be here for another maybe month and a half. Hopefully longer. Maybe God will bless me. Maybe God will put somebody in my life that I can change their life. But before I leave, I want everybody to know that God is good and God is love.
Thank you, Trey.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so right now we're at the location where the homeless woman died. These bullet holes, there are 2 bullet holes here and here. The one at the top was the fatal shot to her neck. One at the bottom is the bullet that has not been extracted by APD. Right here is evidence. The homeless lady was laying here. There was a car here. The car was parked here. She was laying there. Guy rode off on a scooter. He shot 1, 2, 3, 4. One hit her in the neck. Hit here. On the side of the wall. Officers won't come and get the bullet out. It'll solve a murder, but they still won't get it. It's still in there, as you can see. It has not been extracted. I went to APD and told them, Austin Police Department, I've told them that this bullet is still in here. It's been in here for the last 3 weeks and they've not extracted it yet. This is evidence from a murder and they've not taken it. This is because they don't care about homeless people. If this was a person that was successful in life, or a politician, or a paralegal, or a doctor, this whole waterfront would have been tore up. But because this lady didn't have anybody or didn't really have a voice or a name, they don't care and it's still in there. Where I sleep is pretty much wherever is safe at the time. Wherever it's dark and quiet and away from the officers. Because officers, they'll wake you up and they'll take you to jail. They'll slam you on your head, write you a ticket, and you'll go to jail for 4 hours. And they'll let you out. And they'll go to court and you'll go back to jail. And you'll stay in the same cycle because you're homeless and they don't care. And that's what they do. They write tickets. I have over 50 tickets for camping because I have nowhere to stay. And I'll always have those tickets. Those tickets will always exist. I will always have them. They write tickets for camping, walking or jaywalking, pissing in public, spitting in the air. Doesn't matter. If you're homeless, you get a ticket, you go to jail. If you don't pay the ticket in an amount of time that's allotted to you, you go to jail again. And when you get out, you still have the same ticket with the same bill. And everything that you had acquired out here is now gone. The cycle is repeated, nothing changes. I'm still homeless.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, my favorite spot to sleep, like my designated area, There's a church up here we call Sleeping Jesus. It's the only church in Austin that has a statue of Jesus laying down on a bench, so we call it Sleeping Jesus. It's the only church in Austin, Texas that will allow sanctuary. I said it in the beginning of the clip. This church allows sanctuary Tuesdays and Thursdays. They wake us up and they give us coffee. They give us food, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, ham and cheese sandwich, something to drink. They give us boxers and socks, personal hygiene products, and hand sanitizers, but only on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Other than that, we have to fend for ourselves. There's not really any place around here right now for homeless people to eat because of COVID-19. The COVID-19 has shut down a lot of stores, a lot of the soup kitchens. The very few that we do have, they're shut down. So what we have to do is come out here and panhandle and ask people for money and help, and hopefully not get a ticket, because they have what you call aggressive panhandling. If I walk up to you and ask you for, hey sir, you think you can spare a quarter or 50 cents? An officer will come to me and say, I aggressively panhandled, and give me a $190 ticket because I asked you for a quarter. If I ask you for 50 cents, I have to pay $190. And if I don't pay that $190 ticket, and a lot of times if I say it, then they will arrest me. I'll have a warrant issued. Once the warrant is issued, I go to jail. I go to jail now. All the things that I've acquired that these people have given me that I cannot afford on my own will be taken by another homeless person that doesn't have. So when I get out of jail, I'll come back out here and I'll have nothing. I'll start with what I have when I leave the jailhouse. But keep in mind, I'll still have that same ticket. The ticket will still exist because I have not paid it. And I went to jail, and that should rectify the situation and squash the ticket. But because I'm homeless and I don't have a voice and I don't have money, I'll continuously have that ticket. If I can't pay that ticket for the next 20 years, then every time a warrant is issued, I'll go to jail for the next 20 years until I pay that ticket. I went to jail once before and got out and thought that I had no tickets. I had tickets from 2012, years and years before, that they never brought up. So I got out, I went to prison and got out, thinking that I had no warrants or no tickets. And I'm out here sleeping, they wake me and run my name for warrants. And here it is, I have another warrant for a ticket for camping. So what they do is they keep all of those tickets in the system, and when you get out and they see you, they'll run your name and put you back to keep you off the streets again, to keep you out of the eye of the public.
In some ways, would it be better in jail than on the streets?
A lot of times people commit crimes just to go to jail, because out here there's no help. Like, people will turn their back on you. Here's Sleeping Jesus. This is Sleeping Jesus. This is where I sleep. This is Sleeping Jesus, and this is my residence. This is my home. This is what I have. Nothing. This is what they give us. Nothing. I walk around the street and ask people to have compassion in their heart and to help me. I won't. This is what my body looks like. It's because I can't have help. I don't have calorie depletion and sleep deprivation is the two main things that go on with me. I have no money. I have no way to support myself. There are not soup kitchens or places to take showers. There's nothing. I have nothing. I can't get anything. I can't get a job. If I try to ask somebody to let me work, they won't, because I'm dirty and I'm filthy. I stink. But the thing about it is, if they gave me a chance to get a job, and I can get in a hotel room and I can take a shower and I can be clean every day. But nobody will give me the opportunity to do anything, so I have to look like this on a regular basis. This is my outfit for the day and the rest of the day and the rest of the week. It sucks. They don't care about us. They suck. If you're not a productive citizen of society, or if you don't come to Austin with money, you don't already come here with it or born into it, you won't get it. Like, it's sickening. Like, I see people looking at me like right now, literally looking at me like I'm a piece of shit. But little do they know, they're worse off than I am, because they're thinking down on me, and I'm looking at them like, hey, those are some beautiful people. I don't care if they're homeless or not, they're people. But they don't look at me the same because I'm dirty, filthy, and black. They say that Black Lives Matter in Austin. It's a bunch of bullshit. Black lives don't matter. Nobody lives matter except for if you got money. They don't care. Black people don't give a fuck about black people. If they did, they would stop doing the things that they were doing. Austin PD got defunded, okay? They got defunded because they're constantly buying new vehicles every other year. But they're not trying to solve the homeless problem. 80% of the population in Austin is homeless. You can buy a new vehicle every other year. Why don't you buy one of these fucking buildings and put these people in instead of taking them and arresting them and putting them in jail all the time? That doesn't solve a problem, that makes a problem. Overcrowding jails, making people spend more tax money, you know what I mean? But for the people that go to jail, they don't care because they get 3 hots and a cot. You put me in jail, give me 3 hots and a cot, I'm not gonna worry about it either because right now I have nothing. At least I can go there and get food 3 times a day and take a shower, have clothes. You know, it almost makes you want to commit a crime to go to jail because people out here are so harsh and hardened. Their hearts are hardened. I can go over there and ask somebody, I can walk across the street right now and they'll run me from over there, even if it's a public street. I can walk across the street right now and those rich white people over there will run me off of a public street because I'm black and dirty and homeless. And I'm getting pissed off.